This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here. Okay, so it just keeps getting better. Now, we're going to talk about Swift and a go live date that is on their PDF files. I covered this a few months ago, and it was brought back to my attention, and shout out to the person that sent it to me, and I can't remember if it was DJ Peter Vass or Jesus Tejero, but either way, shout out to all of the people that send content to us, Michael Val 5 Links, XRP Crypto Wolf, BondCrypt, and so many others. I appreciate all of you. And those that wish to remain anonymous, I appreciate you as well. Okay, so getting into this, let's go ahead and start because we're going to look at some pretty powerful stuff today. And I think when you start to say to yourself, because look, this is a constant age-old technique and actually discipline, if you will, more than a technique, it's a discipline of smart investors, is to look at the information you've learned along the way in your investment and compare it to what you know today. And as things continue to roll out and unfold, you have to go back and look at the old information and go, you know what? That piece of information has now gone from speculation to a solid fundamental. Or that piece of information has gone from speculation to no longer necessary to hold on to it. We can let it fall to the floor. Okay, what I will tell you today is that a lot of the stuff that we've been looking at here on the channel has really turned from speculation into solid fundamental news. Now, there's been things we've been able to do away with over time, and we will continue to sift through those things to keep the most relevant matters up front. Okay, moving through this, we start with Brad Garlinghouse. It is clear crypto belongs in future global financial systems. Love hearing that. Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse and everybody at Ripple in the upcoming Swell Conference. But the future depends on us taking action not to ensure this tech can be used sustainably. Today, Ripple is committing to be carbon neutral by 2030 and building tools so any blockchain can use renewable energy. Now, this was a comment added onto the original Ripple post and tweet, which was climate change is impossible to ignore. That's why we've partnered with XRP Ledger Foundation, Energy WebX, and everyone else that's tagged in the post. That's a great place to start because the reality is that it is clear that crypto belongs in the future of the global financial system. And we're going to look at something else here. Let's go ahead and move to the next piece of news. PNC Bank. PNC's digital payment solutions. You can always stay at the ready while you're on the go. Now, this is really remarkable because everybody is rolling out their solutions. Pretty awesome. Now, look. Now, they've got another one to back up to that, too. Let's just watch this, too. It's relatively talking about the same thing, but I think it was a different commercial, if I remember. Or I might show you the same one. I can't remember. Either way, let's take a look at it. So there it is. And it just shows you, and I picked PNC specifically because of the person that sent it to me, and I can't remember the handle right now, but he knows who he is, and I really do appreciate you. The one thing I wanted to say is that PNC was the first U.S. bank to announce that they were going to be a RippleNet partner. Yep. Didn't know if you knew that little fun fact. But that's exactly right. And that is very interesting. And I think we're going to continue to see these kinds of digital payment solutions continue to roll out. And that's the point of this. I had two different ones, and I might have gotten rid of the second one. But anyway, you get the picture. There is a digital payment solution rolling out for every major bank, and it's going to be remarkable as it moves forward. Because look, what are we talking about here? Every consumer, not retail speculator in crypto like you and I, we've all been here already. We need the everyday average citizen consumer to be on the new financial system. this new digital payment solution, apps and digital wallets and things of that nature, developing a digital dollar and a digital wallet. All of these are the things that are really going to bring the world into the fold. So that's what we want to see. All right. Now, this I played this morning, but it's going to be in a different context of understanding the same information, but it really is powerful. I want you to look at this. This is a clip that I played from Ryan Zagone, who was amazing at his time at Ripple, and the way he was able to really educate not only companies, but regulators and governments and banking institutions on what this innovative tech could actually do. I want to listen here and point out, obviously we know Banco Santander has been a partner of Ripple for years. He says here in the PowerPoint webinar from 2017, that's right, 2017, distributed ledger technology could reduce banks' infrastructure costs attributable to cross-border payments, securities trading, and regulatory compliance by 15 to 20 billion per annum by 2022. Notice that Santander and the webinar here by Ryan Zagone is talking about not only cross-border payments, but securities trading and regulatory compliance. Now, remember, we just covered that the DTCC, the Depository Clearing Corporation, which does $2.15 quadrillion a year in settlements of securities and equities. So this is pretty remarkable here. So we see it's all going to a place. Listen to this next slide he rolls into here. And here's what else is important too. We have to remember that the audience is not all the same. There are new people rolling into this space all the time. So when we show information that's a little older or repeat information, I want everybody to remember not only is it a discipline as an investor to make sure you understand the fundamentals and you keep those as your compass as you move through your investment track. But it's also important to remember that not all of us are out here are the same. And we want to make sure that everybody has a chance as we move through this fast-moving material. These news cycles move very quickly, 24, 48 hours, and we're on to touching new stuff. But we always want to reference these cornerstones, these keystone pieces of information that remind all of us, whether we're new or old in this space, that it's a very real thing that we're looking at here. All right, here we go.
Here's a quote I have from Santander, the large Spanish bank. In their studies with this technology, they see the potential to save $15 to $20 billion a year by 2022 when this technology is applied to cross-border payments, securities, and compliance. So a huge potential for cost savings that can come from adopting this technology. There's also a potential for new revenue. Here, a consulting firm McKinsey has forecasted that when distributed ledger technology is applied for personal remittances, there's a potential to add 3 to 5 billion US dollars in new revenue for financial institutions. So FIs can benefit both from great cost savings and new revenue. They expect to see this technology at scale by 2021. Ripple is in the market now, growing this network. We expect to see us at scale probably before 2021, but that does seem like a reasonable time frame to us.
Well, there you have it, right from Ryan Zagone and McKinsey and Company. They expect production at scale expected by 2021, and Ryan even expects it a little sooner even. Now, first of all, shout out to Ryan Zagone who's going on. I believe he's joined TransferWise. I wish him all the best in his new chapter. Thank you to Bank XRP for this video here from back in 2017 that he posted in 2019. Now, look, this points to what? All of what we're looking at here, because we're about to talk about SWIFT here in a second. We are talking about Banco Santander. We're talking about PNC. We know both of those participate on RippleNet, right? Let's keep moving. This is the quick little comment that was made by Representative French Hill, and shout out to him. He says it and lays it down very quickly here. Listen to what he says.
Advancing, and we need a cryptocurrency payment rail as a part of our payment system reforms. And I thank my friend, the chairman, and I yield back.
There you go. We need a cryptocurrency payment rail as a part of our payment system reforms. Shout out to Cryptic Poet, who is absolutely on fire. You should be following the Cryptic Poet. Now, look, that Did you ever think that you would hear a congressman say this in a hearing? I mean, this is a webinar that's a hearing, a task force on financial technology. And you're witnessing this take place right here, right now, coming out of their mouth. The days I remember longing for the idea that we would hear people in Congress even suggesting such a thing. And he's specifically pointing to cryptocurrency needing to be a payment rail as a part of the payment system reforms. Now, that is remarkable news. Okay, moving forward here, because of that comment about payment rails being a part of the reform of the payment system, I want to remind everybody about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's right, this document's not new either. This final rule is effective July 21st, 2020. And it's pertinent because if you hear him say that, but you don't know that this rule's already passed, it really doesn't have the same weight to it. But now if you are aware that this rule has been passed, and now you go back and hear that context of that comment again, you realize just how close we are to where all of this is actually going. On page 40, it is cited that Ripple, XRP, and Swift GPI are the recommended solutions for transparency to cross-border payments from banks and small credit or credit unions and small banks. And here it is right here. I'm just going to highlight just a part of it. There it is. And the continued growth and expanding partnership of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, which offer both payments messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers, as well as virtual currency XRP, which can be used to affect settlement of those transfers. Up a little higher, it does cite Swift GPI as well, but the reality is it has been made an effective rule. So now we move forward and we remind everybody, because of all the hard work that's been done and continues to be done by the men and women at Ripple, past and present, they are now a part of the ISO 2022 standards body and committee. They are the first member there focused on distributed ledger technology. That's right. The world is converging on a new global standard, and it's called the ISO 20022, the de facto global standard for modern payments. Boom. That means Swift, right? That means RippleNet, right? I have made no bones about the fact that I believe RippleNet becomes the new digital arm of Swift at some point, because Swift is privately owned by banks, by member banks. RippleNet is a partnership and really a consortium or collective of banks. I don't believe that the banks that are a part of Swift would join RippleNet and never think to themselves, gee, I guess maybe we should use this tech. Of course that's what they're going to do. Now, whether Swift buys RippleNet or whether RippleNet acquires Swift, I don't really care. All I know is that it's the solution to the new financial system. And that's what's most important to me as an investor, and to pay attention to how that unfolds. So at the end of the day, we start to say, okay, well, where is Swift in all of this? Because we've heard Swift say that they're backing things up because of the pandemic to 23-24 adoption. We know that Swift has said recently is February 2019. I found an article here that said Swift GPI reaches major adoption milestones, surpassing $40 trillion in cent payments. Now, what do you think about that? That's not exactly pocket change, right? So the reality is we're talking about a lot of money here. Well, when we go to Swift GPI brochure from September 2019, they have a timeline. You see 2017, 2018, coming to 2019. The basic tracker, payment initiation and tracking, faster GPI payments, pre-validation, case resolution, notification, visibility incoming, request for payment, financial institution transfers. 2020 says universal confirmations, unlocking payment confirmation for all. Every financial institution benefits from tracking and confirming payments. All customer payments MT-103 on FIN. require confirmation that funds have been credited to the end beneficiary account. And for 2021, it shows go live dates ISO 2022, comply with ISO right across SWIFT. Now, testing, right? But I'll tell you something. That's go live date. I didn't make it up. SWIFT did. And it does say testing tier 2, but that's exciting because there's only a few months left in 2020, so this gets even more exciting. Then we go here. This is another SWIFT document. This is SWIFT GPI Early Adopter Program, Capital Market Players. And this here is actually showing a timeline of early adopter phase. And it shows here August, September, no October, really? But in the same manner, it shows go live right here in November before hitting December. What do you make of that? This is SWIFT GPI Early Adopter Program, Capital Market Players PDF. Come on in. This is their timeline, not mine. Now, whether they stick to it or not is another matter. What I do know is that when I look at the fact that PNC going to their digital payments offering solution, other banks are offering digital wallets and starting to roll those things out, knowing that PNC, Banco Santander are all part of Ripple and RippleNet, and Santander for years now. It is really impressive to me to know that we're seeing all the regulation that comes with this, right? Which is right here. I did this diagram, and I'm going to show it to you again. From the G20, World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund, and all across the planet, from Japan, EU, UK, the House of Representatives, and all the respective regulatory agencies connected here. When I think about that, and then look at this timeline and see the flurry of activity that has begun to roll out in a very, very short period of time, I think to myself, it really comes down to what my man said here, Warren Davidson. Let's listen because he says it best.
Your hope is that Speaker Boehner is saying about how Congress works, which is to sum up very slowly until it's very fast.
Well, there you have it. And things have been very slow for a long time. And I don't know about your measure, but to mine, things are beginning to move very fast. All right, guys and girls, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I'm interested to know your thoughts. I will put this PDF in the comment section for you to have fun with and check out and share with everybody you know. And make sure you share this with everybody you know, too. I'll catch all of you on the next one.